With first-class honours, Sanya Tariq Bhatia. Royce Kar-Ho Chan. With first-class honours, Isham Chauhan. Miriam Conway. With first-class honours and recipient of the Drapers Company Prize, Enisha Das. With first-class honours, Victoria Jane Dawson. Kalojit Singh Daliwal. With first-class honours and recipient of the Drapers Company Prize, Kiran Divani. William Michael Dooley. James Edward Goodman. Amit Gupta. Shaya Hadavi. Tamina Hanan. With first-class honours, Genevieve Ann Howlin. Tommy Day Ishanke. Kemal Ishmael Kemal. With first-class honours, Sinan Kaduri. With first-class honours, Ayab Khan. Yogisha Kukadia. Jiten Mansuk Makwana. Thomas Joseph Medici. With first-class honours, Sonal Mehta. Tobias James Mitchell. Shaista Julani Mufti. Amandeep Kal Mukhal. Karan Murrell. With first-class honours, Isma Naim. Sam Nahas. With first-class honours and recipient of the Drapers Company Prize, Timothy Michael Nash. With first-class honours, Patrick O'Halloran. Tewo Oludolapo Olufemi. With first-class honours, Foluso Aluwajana. With first-class honours, Nirav Patel. Claire Peplow. With first class honours, Hina Naran Pindoria. Archana Ratna Krishnan. Kirun Rahim. With first class honours, Mohammed Oyes Madhumar Rahman. With first class honours, Anna Roskilly. Dinath Andrew Seniviratna. With first class honours, Harriet Scott. With first class honours, Sarah Siddiqui. With first class honours, Simon Stallworthy. With first class honours, Robert Michael Stevenson. Rafael Elio Tietino. With first class honours, Vithehi Thambiraja. Mariam Thapa. Islam Udin. Manish Verma. Hazel Walkin. Matthew Wilson. With first class honours, Elizabeth Marion Winson. Victoria Wright. For the degree of Bachelor of Medical Science with honours, Ya Acha Achampong. Oluwayeminsi Olawatosin Akinmolayan. With first class honours and recipient of the Drapers Company Prize, Natasha Achama. Mariam Adiola Balugan. With first class honours, Susanna Mary Bond. Hannah Louisa Ruth Biker. With first class honours, Rihala Chowdhury. Luke Rungsi Das. Arquia Drury. With first class honours, Amelia Elizabeth Fisher. Sonia Sharon Gill. With first class honours, Sophie Eleanor Grossman. With first class honours, Amy Lara Emily Jeans. With first class honours and recipient of the Drapers Company Prize, Susanna Claire Jefferson. Pyro Kada. With first class honours, Navpreet Kaur. With first class honours, Amreem Saeeda Qadri. With first class honours and recipient of the Endocrinology Prize, Mohammed Maniam Khan. With first class honours, Pooja Khanna. Venkat Patrick. With first class honours, Tharshama Kiri Pananthan. Rosanna Lombardo. Vyasan Mahalinga Sivam. Shiva Rose Malachi Toshikani. Lindsay Mutani. Srivina Nagunanatha. Saqib Naji. Unduka Iso Ikachuwuku Unzuwe. K. Inde Alukulapo Olufemi. Zaira I. Nanim Osfalat. With first class honours and recipient of the Tariq El Tawa Prize, Shima Vinubai Patel. With first class honours and recipient of the Treasurer's Prize, Emily Sheila Shepherd. With first class honours, Satwindijit Kaur Shinhamar. Zagdish Singh Sokai. With first class honours and recipient of the Drapers Company Prize, Lydia Spur. Azil Tahir. Payam Torabi. For the postgraduate diploma in clinical dermatology, Janath Vijay Singh. For the degree of Master of Clinical Dentistry with distinction and recipient of the Principal's Prize, Rashev Kumar Dabal. For the degree of Master of Philosophy, Maggie Moe. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, for a thesis entitled BMP3B Signaling the Adrenal Cortex, supervised by Dr. Peter King, Artem Backmandis. For a thesis entitled Targeting the Osteoclast Alpha V Beta 3 Integrin by Phage Display, supervised by Professor Constantino Pizzalis, Fiona Catherine Brunton. For a thesis entitled risk factors for colorectal cancer following adenoma removal, and the impact of colonoscopy surveillance, supervised by Professor Stephen Duffy and Professor Wendy Atkin, Faye Helen Cafferty. For a thesis entitled Enhanced Transfer of iontophoresis of model species across the buccal mucosa and the release from polymer systems, supervised by Dr. Mangala Patel, Svetla Todorova Churchman. For a thesis entitled A MicroRNA Study of the Genetic Origins of Acute Myeloid Leukemia, supervised by Professor Brian Young and Dr. Silvano Debadadi, Amanda Catherine Denise Dixon McIver. For a thesis entitled Electrosurgery on the Uterus, an investigation of the local and systemic effects, supervised by Professor David Perrett, Martin Ferrugia. For a thesis entitled Mechanisms of Adrenocorticotrophin-Induced Activation of ERK1/2 MAP Kinase in the Human H295R Adrenal Cell Line, supervised by Professor Adrian Clark, Mandy Elaine James. For a thesis entitled Identification of Single-Chain Antibody Fragments Specific for Human Synovial Microvascular Endothelium by in vivo phage display, supervised by Professor Konstantinos Pixalis, Panagiotis Kamperidis. For a thesis entitled The Effects of Nicotine in Inflammatory Bowel Disease, supervised by Professor David Rampton, Khalid Mahmoud Khattab. For a thesis entitled Novel Neuroprotective and Regenerative Effects of Riluzole on Primary Sensory Neurons in Vivo and In Vitro, supervised by Dr. Peter Shortland, Dr. Leslie Robson, Veronica Helen Lothian Leinster. For a thesis entitled Melanocortin Receptor Deficiency and the Control of Leukocyte Endothelium Interactions in the Microcirculation, supervised by Professor Mauro Peretti and Dr. Stephen Getting, Giovanni Leone. For a thesis entitled Investigating the Potential for Expediting Ovarian Cancer Diagnosis via Prompt Symptom Recognition and Targeted Screening, supervised by Professor Peter Sassiini and Professor Stephen Duffy, Anita Weiwei Lim. For a thesis entitled Generation and Characterization of Transgenic Mice Overexpressing Nexin-1 Selectively in T Cells, supervised by Dr. Fulvio De Custo and Professor Mauro Peretti, Nikos Paskalidas. For a thesis entitled High-Resolution Genome-Wide Single Polymorphism Mapping in Acute Myeloid Leukemia, supervised by Professor Brian Young and Professor Thomas Lister, Manoj Raghavan. For a thesis entitled Genetic and Functional Mechanisms of APCA12-Associated Harlequin Ichthyosis, supervised by Professor David Kelsaw, Anna Claire Thomas. For a thesis entitled Microarray Analysis of Childhood Leukemia, its use in diagnosis, classification, and identification of therapeutic targets, supervised by Professor Vasco Saha, Frederick Willem van Delft. For a thesis entitled Regulation of Epidermal Lipogenesis, supervised by Dr. Carolyn Byrne, Jonathan Christopher Welty. For a thesis entitled The Role of the GLY1 and GLY2 Transcription Factors in Basal Cell Carcinoma, supervised by Professor Mike Philpott and Dr. Graham Neal, Thomas Daffyd Llewellyn Williams. For a thesis entitled The Effects of the Chromoglycate-like Drugs on the Glucocorticoid Annexin 1 System, supervised by Professor Roderick Flower, Samia Yazid. For the degree of Doctor of Medicine Research, for a thesis entitled Proteomic Analysis of Urine Specimens to Detect Biomarkers for Pancreatic Ductal Adenocarcinoma, supervised by Dr. Tanya Gormachid-Gershik, Deepak Hanaharan. For the degree of Doctor of Medicine, for a thesis entitled Investigation of Mechanisms Underlying Disordered Folliculogenesis in Polycystic Ovary Syndrome, supervised by Professor Ovrang Darenbach, Mushumi Das. For a thesis entitled Comparison of Olfaction, Taste Tests, and Data Scan in the Diagnosis of Idiopathic Parkinson's Disease, supervised by Professor Chris Hawkes, Jackie Deeb. For a thesis entitled Studies on Aspects of Cell Biology and Response to Humoral Factors of Epithelial Cells in the Human Reproductive Tract, supervised by Professor Ovrang Darenbach, Rachel Lyons. For a thesis entitled Molecular Epidemiology of Varicella Zoster Virus in UK and Europe, supervised by Professor Judy Brewer, Neetu Sengupta. For a thesis entitled Tumor Necrosis Factor Alpha Expression in HIV/AIDS-related diarrhea and its association with HIV enteropathy, disease severity and mortality, supervised by Dr. Elspeth Alstead, Isaac Zulu. That concludes the graduands for the School of Medicine and Dentistry.
Acting Principal, I ask you to admit to their degrees those graduands not present.
I admit to their degrees in absentia those graduands so named. I now call upon Professor Frida Fortune, Dean of the School of Dentistry, to address the Assembly.
Chairman, Principal, Vice Principals, Fellows, Council Members, Senior Members and Members of Staff, thank you for the honour of allowing me to address the graduates of 209. I'm delighted to greet you all. You, your parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts and friends. Haven't you done well? Congratulations to you all, and you can be rightly proud of your achievements today. I'm delighted that each of you has fulfilled your own dream and stand on the threshold of professional life. You have passed a significant goalpost in your life, but there are many more to come. Graduates in previous years have had an easy time and faced relatively easy access to careers and a vibrant job market. We had an expanding economy and easy, perhaps too easy, access to loans. Many joined the me society with a money culture, brash lifestyle, but a society which had a very low rating on the happiness scale, as everyone always thought that they needed and deserved more. With the eventual collapse of the world economy, it was not difficult to predict, but we were all blind to see the consequences of our lifestyles. So, how does this translate to you personally? I know that some of you have still not found a job. Will you find one this year? Have you figured out what to do with your student bills, credit cards, other debts with no income? Are you going to try and emulate the city which has brought this country and the world to its knees? In fact,